Hello, everyone. We are back after the Pelicans split their weekend split with the Portland Trailblazers. And we're going to talk about it. Before we talk about the game, can we talk about how our teams blew out in college football so we could talk about good things first? Um, Canes at the Rock took care of the Seminoles, took care of Florida State, despite no touchdown passes from Cam. We ran the ball and took care of business. And Tulane, I put it like a 50 burger, huh?
The one team this weekend that didn't disappoint me, and that's why I'm rocking on my Tulane stuff. Like even Texas
uh,
barely squeaked out Vandy. So and we don't
yeah.
talk about baseball. So yeah.
Hey, I got a question. I do have a question before we start talking about the Pelicans.
Yeah.
Has that grand slam landed?
Man. Yeah,
that's gonna be the mood. That's gonna be the only good thing. Games.
The only good thing about that was let me skip the first half of that the Blazers game on Friday, which I heard was also trash. So I happened to watch the one good half of basketball the Pelicans ended up playing this weekend on Friday because they played zero halves or quarters of good basketball tonight.
Oh man. Well, if you are a sports team and you have New Orleans as the city that you represent, you did not play any good quarters of your sport today. Today. But we'll start with Friday when the Pelicans pulled off. They stole a 105-103 victory over the Trailblazers. And I guess we can start with Hawk really deciding that he was going to take over the game after the third quarter, at near the end of the third quarter.
Yep, that dude, he's hooping. I mean, tonight too. It's hard not to talk about these two games in concert, but I mean, look, my only gripe is something that he's hopefully going to learn with time is that he doesn't have another option when he starts attacking. He's like, I'm gonna put the shot up and it might get blocked or might look awful. I'm not giving this ball up, but he's but I mean, he's been as efficient as one of the most efficient players in the team over the last couple of games, and so I'm enjoying what I'm seeing from him. I think we saw some challenges on the other end of the floor tonight, but you know what? That game on Friday, the Pelicans are 1-2 without him.
Yes, without him, and I guess the other bright spot we can talk about for most, like you say, it's hard not to merge two games together, but Messi continues to do his thing. He had 4 stocks tonight, and he had, let me go to the box score. I want to say only one last. Here we go. Give me a second. This is great podcasting. 2 blocks last night and 4 stocks tonight. And he playing in I would say even today and outplayed him on Friday. Especially playing down the stretch when the defense actually ramped up. I would say the third and fourth quarters of the Friday game were the only time where I think they played sufficient enough defense, and it led to breaks and it led to threes, which we're going to talk about in the second game. The lack of those. Zion was off both nights, and I wonder if that's a little bit sluggish, being sick, and a little bit that Portland just looks so big compared to the Pelicans. Like their guards, and even Scoot's strong, but they just look so much bigger compared to this team. What say you?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know that overall he wasn't inefficient because of how he got 24 free throw attempts over the last course of those couple of games, but he shot 30%, and that is not Zion. He's not taking a bunch of jumpers. He's taking everything in the paint. So you can't even argue that he didn't get calls because he got a bunch of foul calls.
He got a bunch of calls.
Yeah. So I mean, look, I feel like this is what we have to it's what we've come to expect with Zion the first month of the season. I don't know what else to say at this point. This is every year with him. It's he plays his way into game shape. And look, he was sick for opening night, so that clearly could be a factor here. But I don't know.
And the crazy part, I don't know if it's the game shape because defensively, he actually looks fine. That's the crazy part of it. Like he was able to stay even to today. A few possessions, he was able to stay in front of Ant Simons. And especially Friday, he stay in the clutch. He stayed with him. He even caused the deflection, even though CJ got called for a foul in the Friday game. So I think that laterally he's in shape. He looks better than he's looked to start most seasons. It's just Klingon got one defensive 3-second call the entire 2 games.
Criminal.
And it was in the third quarter of the Sunday game. And the second part is there's a 6'8" guy and then another 6'8" guy plus Klingon waiting for him. And it was, it was a stark difference. Like when Ayton was on the court, I didn't care. Like I didn't care, but Klingon was like a mountain of a man, and if he's able to stay like literally right under the basket, like it's FIBA. If he's allowed to do that, it's gonna be hard to even with Zion's great angles, it's hard to get layups in that fashion.
Yeah. I mean, the layups aside, I mean the challenge today was 24 defensive rebounds, 22 offensive rebounds for Portland. I mean, it's this. I mean, that's the size you're talking about, right? It's not just it's the I mean, and it's not that the Pelicans, I think, have made an effort to do the gang rebounding. So I want to like BI had 7 boards, like they're making the effort, and there were some bad bounces tonight. Like there definitely were, but at the same time, just like it's tough. I mean, this team is playing undersized right now, and I think you're seeing that like both sides of the coin, where it's like, okay, Misi's better than expected. Like he can be something for us, but at the same time, like if we're getting pummeled when Tice is out there too, we got problems. And so the number of times I thought Tice didn't put a body on Ayton, it was frustrating. And look, Willie, he only played 17 minutes. So like Willie noticed it.
Yeah.
But the problem is they've got no other option. There's no other body they have right now. And so they're just gonna have to, out small ball people like we talked about before the season. But it's it's glaring. If Portland's gonna work you like that, when we get the good teams.
And teams like Memphis who are just big, and the Lakers are humongous with LeBron and Rui and AD. It may be a problem, but like I'll say this: we talked after the Chicago game. Like that is the recipe for how the Pelicans are going to win. They're going to cause deflections. They're going to attack. They're going to gain rebounds. They're going to win a possession game. They're going to take threes, and we're merging the games together tonight. You saw exactly how they're going to lose. They're not going to take enough threes. They're not going to gang rebound or get and not get enough deflections and enough turnovers going in transition. They're going to lose games. Like that is the recipe for disaster for this team.
Yeah, for sure. And on the 3-point side, I don't think the stats really tell the story. They hit some threes late, right? Like it was pretty skewed.
What I put in my notes was they were too willing to attack closeouts into all that size. Like sometimes you just have to rise and fire and hope for the best. Just maybe you get a long rebound and reset the shot, get them off balance. But if you can't break down the defense without a screen, and sometimes even the screen didn't help, and you're settling for twos or attacking closeout and settling for middies, like it's a recipe for disaster. It just is. You're just losing the numbers game that way.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, other than CJ, give credit to Portland. I think they committed more to stopping the Pelican shooters from getting threes up. But like Hawk only took 4. Like they chased him off the line more. And to his credit, he had a great game. Like I think seeing the offensive versatility, we saw it like in very much in flashes with Hawk last year, and a lot of other concerns about his game. But like he's shown he can, if they're going to chase him off the line, he can still make it pay. So I think very very much great stuff from him. But like beyond that, CJ got his threes up, and no one else did. No, and to your point, they did attack, but maybe a little too much.
Right? Yes, like that. The number is 40, and that's an arbitrary number, but you have to get closer to it. And outside of CJ, even with the number skewed, he took 10 of 29. So there's not, and Granted, there was 11 players who played, but still, he took 10 of 29. So that's 19 amongst 10 more rotation players.
And really not. And
Yeah.
Reeves took 2 in the final 3 minutes of the game. Jose took a couple. So it was really CJ had 40% or 50% of the team's effective, the 3-pointers that mattered before the game was decided, So yeah, that's exactly right.
Talk about Brandon. The good news with BI, he did take 9 threes for Friday. He hit the game winner. I'm not gonna say what Trey said because after that downer, I almost think that it's not even cool to bring up the joke. But
I knew Simons was going for 20 plus tonight. That's
yes.
all
There's no way. I told one of my friends, look, I'm gonna be real with you. It wouldn't have been BI. I would have fight Trey. I would have knocked out Trey where he stood at the moment I heard that happening. But he was gonna come out aggressive for sure. And Simons, and he did. And there are times it felt like BI just settled a lot. He's trying to draw a foul on his, when he comes down on his fadeaway in not even the paint, right at the free throw line. He just settled too much in both games. I would say outside the last quarter, he let Jeremy Grant outplay him. If we're going to be honest with it, on both sides of the court, and the closeouts. Oh my goodness, the closeout angles he took for closeouts to try to the wing threes. It was abysmal. I don't want this to be a pile on Brandon Ingram day because he was, like I said, started the first game, hit the game, went on for Friday, but these are the games that he got to cut out. You got to cut out just having 3-point attempts.
I feel like, and this is not a BI specific comment. This is what this is the notion that you've got to gang rebound when you're playing so small.
Yeah,
you can't sell out for the board before you complete the play on defense. And it's not an easy thing to ask for. To finish the play and then go get the board because we don't have bigs to go get that board. So it's tough, but that's something that I think is especially early on. Are you gonna go try to grab a board, pad your stats a little earlier than you should, and versus staying home on defense? And I feel like that is a delicate balance that the Pelicans are going to have to figure out throughout the course of the year. Because I think you could say what about DeJounte last year, some of the rebounds he was getting late last season. It's just their numbers at some point. They're not, it's not about winning or losing a game. And so I'm not saying that that's what's happening with Pelicans right now, but I do think it is hard to figure out what that right balance is a lot of times. And so, that's part of playing this way. I mean, that's, if you're going to roll small, which is kind of that, hey, their hand's been forced by the roster, then you got to do some stuff different,
Yep. Going back to Zion, like I said, the shooting, he has enough evidence to say that this is going to turn around, and he normally is sluggish to start the year. But the first game, he also had 11 rebounds. Like you said, the gang rebound, the mentality they had. He had 7 assists, only 1 turnover, 14 free throw attempts. He attempted 24 in the 2-game set. So he's attacking. And the block, Herb gets credit for the block. Herb made the defensive play. I am sorry. When the other guy jumps 10 plus feet in the air and then takes it, he's the guy who made the play. No offense, Herb.
Yeah.
Zion looked incredible, except for it's almost extremes, right? So he looks springy, and then he looks like he's in mud. Yeah. And I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah. I've stopped trying to explain a lot of Zion. on the floor, offense, defense, October, April, whatever. But at the same time, I'm just gonna take the patience route here and know he's gonna put it together. And so hopefully, it doesn't come back to hurt the Pels. But the we got a few tests coming up for this team this week, so time to get it in gear.
Yep, and if you want to transition and talk about the upcoming slate of games, we have a back-to-back with Golden State. The first one being on TNT in the Chase Center, and then Wednesday following that. We're talking about the lack of threes. Boy, Golden State is jacking them up. So you do not want to lose the numbers game. Draymond, for the most part, handles Zion well. Though Zion got in the last game in April. What are your thoughts? Golden State's about to start playing right now. Actually, it just tipped off. That's what it's talking.
I was going to say they are. They have 15 points, and 12 of those 15 are threes. All right.
There we go. See, Buddy Hield revenge game for the 6 months he was with us.
They're destroying. I mean, they haven't had we haven't had a difficult schedule, either of they.
No,
but at the same time, Steph hasn't eclipsed. He's gotten 17 points and 20 points, and so they've beaten the brakes off of teams now. It's a couple straight games by 30 or more, and Steph isn't even cooking.
Yeah,
I mean,
this. Go ahead.
No,
I was this same Blazers team that we struggled with for the last 2 games. They also played to Portland at Portland, and they beat them by 36. You know what I'm saying? They're coming out firing. We talked about the start in the offseason that we didn't know where the offense was coming from. Well, I guess if you just shoot a whole bunch of threes and you make them, you're going to find a way to generate offense. Yep. Maybe the Pelicans had a Jedi mind trick defense that they talk about, and they just miss them these 2 games. But they're going to have to counteract the scoring and try to run them off the 3-point line and take some themselves.
I am curious to see what Willie does for his front court, because they're not starting Looney. I mean, you don't have to start Tice, I guess.
Yes.
I say that and acknowledging that the Pelicans just got their ass kicked on the glass tonight. Yeah. And so if you feel like Tice can help you get that edge there, fine. And I don't know. I mean, I guess you can put him on Draymond or something, but I don't know. I'm curious if Willie does something different in the starting lineup against a team like Golden State, when especially with Looney coming off the bench.
Here's the crazy part, though. I don't know this is the game that you want to start Eves, because what you don't want to deal with is someone as savvy as Draymond and getting 2 fouls on him early and him losing his confidence. So it's going to be a test for the coaching staff, as we talked about. And Willie, I love the guy. You got to get him to shoot more threes. You just have to. You got to give him to attack the paint, attack close, so they can get open looks. I think that's where they may miss DeJounte the most. Like, he can get to the paint without a screen and break down the defense.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you, and I just Pelicans don't have a lot of options right now. Obviously, with the injuries to Trey and to DeJounte, when you get down to the bench, but at the same time, the first sub, I can hear Schmidt right now talking about the need to play Zion with shooters, right? And the first sub that Willie's gone to is taking out Zion and putting in Hawkins.
Yeah,
I get it. Because you've got to I get that the defense has not been good already, and so putting Hawk in for Herb, or for example, would just be potentially horrific. But at the same time, it's you gotta. And Zion he played with that lineup a little bit tonight and didn't do much with it. And so maybe it's just, again, early season Zion, but I think you got to surround Z with shooters and get back to how you were playing ball towards the end of last year.
And they have Zion on a minutes restriction, so some of that is you're trying to get your best bench player in early, but you also, if you're doing a minutes restriction, take Zion out. And Tice played more first quarter minutes than Zion, which is that's another blow. And then on All Saints Day, they will be playing the Pacers at home. If Zion is still sluggish, that is not a team you want to play, because they are going to get up and down the court. And before I continue, I noticed Portland did this too, but Schmidt and Caitlin Cooper, shouts out to Caitlin Cooper covering up on Pacers. Portland pressured them in the backcourt. The Pacers do that. We actually do that as well. So you notice that the issue again. No DeJounte. It's almost Portland made them run their sets so late in the shot clock. Every time it was 16. Almost sometimes the refs bailed them out and didn't give them an 8-second violation. That's Indy's like only way of playing defense is to make you speed up. They have fast possessions and make you slow down your possessions and start late in the shot clock.
Yeah, and that's where you really miss a guy like DeJounte, right?
Yep.
And so the Pelicans got a lot of like guys who pretend to be point guard for stretches, but no like real, beyond Jose, like no real floor general.
And Jose hasn't looked the best playing point guard either to start the year.
No, but he's been like he's gonna get squeezed, right? With how well Hawks playing it, like when DeJounte's healthy, like he's clearly going to get squeezed out here when he's at full strength.
Yeah,
the role like he's great. We love Jose, but like he's undersized and like you really can't go you can't lean too far there in the guard position being undersized when you're so undersized in the front court. So, so I do feel for him, his minutes being inconsistent and all that. But yeah, I mean, you're right. He hasn't been great.
And like I said, Jeremy Grant just posted him up just straight. I think Scoot tried to too, and it's no fault of Jose's, like you said. But when there's a lineup with a 5'9", 6'4" guy who's barely 200 pounds and Hawk, and Javonte Green, who's also 6'4", and then Zion, who's 6'6", 6'7", it's like you can see and feel the difference with these lineups, and it's a stark difference from last year when we just looked so like we were the bullies when it came to being long and having JV in the back. It's just it's a rude awakening for this roster construction.
Yeah, it's very, very different. And the frustrating thing is like you can't say, all right, well, this guy comes back, or it's just like this is reality for now.
This is reality.
Trey's big, like Trey's tall. He's going to help out. Like when he gets back, I think having that sheer size will be important. But yeah, I mean they're just going to have to figure out what like how to play this way.
Grit and bear for the next 2 weeks. Fans, we wish it wasn't such a gloomy episode, but when you lose by 20, it's kind of hard to have the
Portland
up. To Portland, like we said at the beginning of this year, they had to be 7-4 for the first 11 games, and the injuries, and now you lose to Portland, and it's a long season. But when you're in the daily grind and you got to talk about it, we got to talk about it.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I think, and I think the reason for the tenor here is that I think the Pelicans have played one good half in Portland out of four, and like that's a team even without, you've got your big three from last year. You've got Z, you've got Bi, you've got CJ, and like that should be enough. Like it's like to look better. I'm not like a 1-1 split on the road, spending the weekend in Portland. Like it is what it is, right? Like,
they're upset because they lost twice. They're already 0-2. They want to win before it gets bad real quick. So we get it.
Yeah, but it's the way they looked. It's the way they looked, and it just didn't inspire much confidence, And so I'm very nervous about the next couple of games at Golden State. And so if they split those, I'll be happy.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? But the way Schmidt said on Twitter, stars got to be stars, and the stars just didn't look like stars for. Like you said, 3 or 4 halves, they just didn't look like stars. I don't want Jody. I don't want Jody to get mad at me. CJ looked like CJ. CJ has looked like CJ all season long. So I want to shout him out. And worst come to worst, just think of E. He's always doing something to put a smile on your face. If it's a good screen or a nice block, like 4 stocks again as a rookie. That's what we're gonna leave this on. Yeah. What impressed you the most about Misi today?
I want to say it's his. So we talked about his screening already. Yeah, I feel like I've been just as impressed with his ability to. So he picked up 3 fouls today, but I feel like he could have, like, he was in positions, in compromised positions that could have gotten him more, right?
Yes.
Like, so three fouls in 20 minutes is not, like, the box score number is not good, right? But I feel like, just given again how small the Pelicans are playing, like, he's exposed a lot, and he's an easy target for refs as a rookie, and so the fact that he didn't, he was able to kind of control himself, and like he's got. It's just I could have sworn he had 3 blocks tonight, not 2, but yeah, I mean, like, 2 blocks, 2 steals, like he's under control defensively, not just a dude that's coming out and nowhere trying to just swat everything, which is, I know that's what Willie wants him to do. I'm all for it. I'm here for it. But yeah, I think just the discipline, like, for and like, again, we talked about how like, you and I were going back and forth on Twitter, like, talking about how I think with Adam too, about how the fact that he learned basketball late, like, maybe there are certain things he's like, Adam made he didn't pick up bad habits. He doesn't have time to pick up bad habits. I'm just like, he learned all the fundamentals so late, it's still fresh in his mind. Like, I think some of that is real. And so it's nice to see him kind of play the game the right way and just use his athleticism. And so that's kind of where I'm at.
I'm going to pick up right where you ended with using his athleticism. It's not just the blocks. He meets guards at the level sometimes and stays with them. Like, the block it's a block, but he stayed with Ant. He was in position, and when Ant went for a layup in the game Friday, he had the block. It isn't just the flashy plays; it's the fact that he can stay in front of these guards with such limited basketball experience, that he just uses athleticism to defend well and cover up for a lot of mistakes with these small guys so quickly. That's really extremely impressive to me. Like, I can't wait to see this guy blossom. Like, having a rookie that you see immediate impact is one of the best things to have when you're a basketball team. So, anything else?
I'm trying to hold my tongue because you said you want to end on something positive.
I want to end on a positive note. If it's not positive, we can end it.
Yeah. Your comment from, like, the Schmidt point, but your stars got to be stars. I just started looking at, like, points versus shot attempts, and I'm just like, this is ghastly. Like, for a team that like Portland, like, they're not an elite defensive team by any stretch, and so, like, there's again, this is not Portland's not Golden State, right? Like, not the Warriors, and so
it's hard to see 14 points on 17 shot attempts. It's just hard. It's just hard. Yep. Even with Zion, he was 7. We'll do a quick math. 7 of 9.
He was just 29. His BI, like, efficiency wise, like, shots, like, shots versus points, like,
But at least he got 24 free throw attempts. Like, that helps. Even if he misses, it helps with the efficiency. But you still can't shoot 25%. Like, even with the rim, you have to find a way to shoot 50%. Oh, we're getting negative. We're not doing that. All right. We're going to end it right there, folks. Please subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Follows Mason at Mason Ginsburg. Follow me at JDub9911. Follow Schmidt at Phil the Brown. And with that, we're going to bid y'all adieu. Be easy. Enjoy y'all Halloween.